Glissen's Culinary Delights. We are still in Disney month and it is exciting. I have a very special recipe for you today. Today we're gonna make an amazing recipe. Disneyland has put their recipe out on their website and it's the Disneyland Churro Recipe. So if you like my videos and you've watched a lot of them or you want to watch more, then please subscribe right now because we have so many Disney movie videos for this month, and then we have other videos that are available for you to watch too. So let's get started with our churro recipe. Alright, so if you have been watching my channel, I have an eclair video that's talking about how to make eclairs, and in there we make a pâte choux, and that's basically what churros are. And so what we're going to do first is we are going to, in our pan, we have it on medium heat, and we're going to put some room temperature water in there, a stick of butter, and some cinnamon and salt. And you're going to get a wooden spoon, and you're just going to stir that around. You're going to stir it until the butter melts. Not to stir it constantly, but just mix it a little bit. Alright, so once it's at a rolling boil and it is melted, the butter, then we're going to turn down our heat, and then we're going to add in our flour. So here I have a cup and 1 1/4 cups of flour. And you have to use some arm muscle for this. 1/4 cup. You're just going to stir it until it kind of forms like a ball. You can easily form it like that. And you're also going to see a small little thin layer of dough on the bottom. That's how you'll know it's ready. Alright, so we're going to just let this sit for about 5 to 7 minutes just so it cools, because we're going to put some eggs in there and we don't want our eggs to cook. Okay, so now that that has had some time to cool, we are going to mix this. So you're going to add just 1 egg at a time. I have 3 eggs here, and just do 1 at a time, and then you're going to stir it up. So this is going to take a lot of arm muscle to do it. If you don't want to spend the time to do it by hand, you can also just put it in a stand mixer and have it do it that way. But this saves you on dishes, having to just do it in the same pot that you made it in. So that's what you end up with. I just said in my other video, my eclair video, you'll know that this dough is good is if you put some between your 2 fingers and you spread your fingers out and you got like a long string coming between the 2. That's how you know the dough is correct. Okay, on to our next step. So I have a piping bag here. It's got a star tip at the end. So I'm gonna just put this in a cup just because it's easier to put the dough in. And then I'm going to scoop my dough into my piping bag. So this part is basically up to you. You can make really long churros, or you can make just small little churro bites. I feel like the smaller ones are easier to fry. You don't need a huge fryer or a huge pan to do it. So I typically make the smaller ones. Or if you want to get fancy, one thing I've done before is I've made these churro bowls, and all you have to do is get a cupcake tin and just use your piping tool and swirl it around the cupcake tin, so you make a little bowl that looks like this. And I'll show you what this looks like with the ice cream when we fry them up. But there's so many examples of things that you can do. You can do even little Mickey ears if you'd like. But today we're just going to do some small little churro bites so it's easier to fry up. So let's get piping. So I like to twist the top just because it keeps the dough from coming out up here, and you don't want that. A way you can keep your parchment paper from moving is if you just put a dollop of that dough on the underside of it and then just press it down. That keeps your parchment paper from moving while you're piping. All right, so now that they're all piped, I'm just gonna use a brush to kind of push the bottoms so that you don't have like a little point. All right, so I have some perfectly formed churros. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put them in the freezer. And the reason we're gonna do this is because they'll stay in their forms and they'll be easier to drop in the oil once they're frozen. So I'm gonna put them in the freezer for a couple of hours and just let them sit in there, and then we will fry these up. All right, so it's been a few hours now and we've had our churros in the freezer. Now, there's two ways you could do the churros. I find that it's easier to freeze them because then I can just plop them in my oil and I don't have to be piping them into the oil. The only problem with doing that is that you do get a little bit of a flat bottom on your churros. But if you don't mind that, then it's not a big deal. Otherwise, what you would do is you would get your piping bag and you would pipe it directly into your oil. And then make sure you have some scissors on hand so you can just cut the threads of the oil just so it goes in there. And that's another way to do it, and then that way you don't have to freeze your churros. It's completely up to you. If you do decide that you're going to freeze your churros, then you can keep it in the freezer for like a long time before you actually cook them. So this is something that you can make ahead of time and then cook them later. So that's just completely up to you and it's your choice. I'm going to do the freezing method, and then we are going to just wait for our oil to warm up. Once our oil is hot, we are going to start dropping them in. Now this is going to go really quick, so it's not like a really hard thing to do. And we're just trying to get them brown on the outside. They will puff up a little bit, but other than that, they're going to be delicious. And then after we're done with that, is we have our cinnamon sugar mixture. And I just like to put it in a Ziploc bag because I feel like it's easier once you're done. You can just shake it up, mix it all up really well in here. And then once they're done and they're drained of the oil, you would just plop them into this Ziploc bag and shake it, and it doesn't make any mess on your countertops or anything like that. So I feel like it's a lot easier to do it this way. So like I said, we're gonna put our churros in our oil, and then we will lay some paper towels down on our countertop so that way we can drain our churros once they're out of the fryer, and then we will season them up and give them a taste. All right, so our oil is hot, so I'm just going to put my churros inside of it. You don't want to overcrowd them. Because the temperature of your oil will lower. Now you want your churros to be a nice golden brown all around. So if your oil doesn't completely cover them, that's fine. Just make sure that you're flipping them so that it can brown on all sides. Also be very careful of this oil. It's 350 degrees, it's pretty hot. I've already burnt myself once today. So be careful. And as you can see, the churros were submerged and now they're starting to float. That means that they are done. So I'm going to take these out now. So as you can see, it's just a nice golden brown. That's what we're looking for. Remember how in the beginning I said that if you do put them in the freezer that they get flat on the bottom? Well, when you stick them in the fryer, they kind of puffed up. So I guess that's not something that you need to worry about. Nice little round churro. We're just going to fry the rest of these up, and then we will put our cinnamon sugar mix on it and we'll give it a try. Alright, the great thing about the Ziploc bag is I could just grab a bunch of these, shake them up, make sure to coat them with cinnamon sugar everywhere, and then you just take them out. like to give it another little shake before I take it out. All right, everyone, we are done. They are all nicely seasoned, and I gave you a few examples of how you can do it. So we've got our lovely, delicious churros, little mini churros. They look so good. They're perfect. Okay, and then I also have a special dipping sauce that's so simple. So head on over to my reels or my shorts because you can find the video on how I did it. It's just some dulce de leche, and it's like totally like one ingredient, so simple. So head on over, you'll see how to make that. It's so good, and you can dip your churros in there. And then I also did the example of the churro bowl if you guys decide that you want churro bowls instead of just plain churros. Now with the churro bowl, it's just some ice cream and some dulce de leche on that as well. So it's so good, so amazing. You guys gotta run out, try this. It's so good. Now we are going to do a taste test. All right, let's try our churros. So I'm just gonna try it with a little bit of the dip, and then I'll try it plain, so I'm not double dipping. It's so good, and it's so fluffy inside. I'm gonna try this churro bowl with the ice cream. Oh, that's good. That's a good churro. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching my video. I loved this month being able to make these Disney recipes for you. Try things I haven't tried before or things that I have tried before. And so I'm grateful for you guys for sticking with me and watching my videos. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Please comment, like, share. Get these videos out there because there are some really good videos. So I'd love for you guys to try this recipe. As always, recipe will be down in my description. And then also, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, there's other Disney videos that you can look out for. And so you can subscribe, check out those videos over here. And I'd love to see you try these recipes. Let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching.